in the midst of all this Cameron, Jim Jones issues, and Cameron said some things while Mace ate his popcorn.
You ever wonder how he met Mano? He tried to press Mano one day because Mano first came out. He had a little record where he was saying, dissing the rappers. I don't know, he said his name.
The song he's talking about is a song that put me in the game. It was a song called Rumors.
This rumor spread, this in the street, this worse than this.
The thing about that is that I mentioned him in the song. I ain't mentioned Jim.
Buck said Cameron around and got robbed in Cali.
Jimmy and my tension came from me mentioning Cam. When you say that you gotta understand that his energy for me was for Cam. We were in Atlanta, and we had a conversation. He didn't approach me and ask and press me and none of that. We had a conversation. It wasn't spectacular. Nobody swung. Nobody. I think the thing is this: you could dislike a person from a distance because you think you don't like them.
Yeah, Mayo gonna downplay because they cool now.
That's why you got it's like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care of it. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
You look like you need to be taken care of. You broke. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something. I got a G for every bump in your face. Dang.
Because your man 50 said you're taking too long to respond to Jim Jones.
You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo.
You do need
You
that
might
help.
need
That's
2
why-
ounces.
First of all, I want to shout out Jomo for the promo. I want to shout out Memphis Bleak and Nori, because Nori is pushing Memphis Bleak. And yo, look, 3, 4 in the morning, Nori's texting me, yo, keep the peace. Because niggas know she could get ugly, but I'll just be chilling. I don't want to catch a tag stone case or nothing like that. But what I'm saying to you is like, when people seeing you level up, they got evil eyes. That's why I pray every night to God. So as for Jimmy talking to me, I look at that as crazy because you saying you better than Nas. I don't know who's smoking coke or sniffing coke here, me or you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at the analytics, when people when they talked about me, the numbers went up. You trying to push a...
Yo, Jim Jones, I know I was going to run into you. It's me, Skabuka. Let's take a video. No, you got to ask me to take a video. Come on, man. I was giving you some love, like, all right?
Give her love.
I seen you gave some free haircuts the other day. You do your thing. I know. Keep it up. Good luck.
All right.
Later.
Yo, bro, I got you. Don't worry about it. Yo, let me get 2 bottles of 1942, a bottle of Patron, a bottle of Douce, a bottle of Hennessy. And just set the mood right, let me get a bottle of scissor and put it on his tab. He said he got it.
Bro, you
know what this is? It's Jim Jones, Capo Status, Dipset, Burger King, Harlem, 145th Broadway. Or Daddy, all that shit I be cooking though. He got it. It's on his tab. Don't worry about it. It's on his tab.
All right, whose tab is it on?
You got it, bro? He got it.
Okay, he's looking like he's not
Don't worry
pleased you,
about
so what are we
it.
doing?
No, miss, I'm not arguing with you. Put it on his tab. He looking at me because he know he got the money for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Jim Jones keeps talking, and each time he does, it feels like he's making things worse for himself. A rapper who was once seen as one of Harlem's most reliable figures in hip-hop is now being questioned from every angle. Fans are calling out the mixed stories, the changed details, and the way he seems to reshape the past to fit the moment. People who once supported him are starting to push back. Old clips are resurfacing, timelines are being checked, and his credibility is taking hit after hit. In interview after interview, Jim tells a version of history that doesn't always line up. One day, he says he built Dipset from the ground up. Another day, videos pop up showing people like Cameron, Mace, and others explaining how things really unfolded. The internet keeps everything. And once those clips start circulating, it's hard to ignore the gaps. Fans are putting the pieces together and realizing the story being told now doesn't match what was said before. What makes it more damaging is that this isn't only coming from random commenters online. Other artists are paying attention too. Younger Harlem rappers respect the era Jim came from, but they don't speak on him the way they do about true architects of the movement. That silence says a lot. Right now, Jim's biggest problem isn't old rivals. It's the fact that his own words keep turning against him. Every attempt to protect his legacy seems to raise more questions about whether he still understands the Harlem he claims to represent. People are now asking how someone with so much history and influence ended up being mocked online and turned into meme material. This isn't about hate, it's about disappointment. To many, it looks like the gap between who Jim says he is and what the record shows has grown too wide to ignore. One of the biggest arguments centers around image and style. Jim often says he created Dipset's entire look and brought a rock-inspired edge into hip-hop before anyone else. He claims the fashion, the attitude, and even the confidence came from him, and later influenced major artists. According to Jim, he set the tone first and everyone followed. Fans quickly challenged that claim. Old footage and interviews show that the Dipset image came together over time, shaped by several people. Cameron and Mace were already established and investing in the movement early on. They helped put Jim in position and gave him visibility when he needed it most. Clips of Cam explaining this started spreading, and they directly contradicted Jim's version of events. The more people watched, the clearer it became that the truth was more shared than Jim was willing to admit. That's when the discussion shifted. It stopped being about clothes or style and turned into something deeper. People started questioning authenticity. Harlem values real stories, and when something feels off, it gets noticed quickly. Jim's claims began to feel less like confidence and more like an attempt to rewrite a shared history as a solo achievement. Instead of stepping back, Jim doubled down. He continued saying that without him, Dipset wouldn't have reached the level it did, and that Harlem's influence wouldn't be what it is today. That only made the pushback stronger. Fans pulled more clips, more interviews, and more proof. The message became clear. Jim joined Dipset and helped grow it, but he didn't create it alone. A statement meant to strengthen his legacy ended up exposing the first major crack in it. From there, the contradictions only grew. Jim's stories about old conflicts often change depending on when and where he's speaking. He'll downplay certain beefs, then later describe them as serious. He'll suggest peace with someone, then throw subtle shots in the next conversation. Fans have started noticing the pattern. The details shift, the tone changes, and the story never stays the same for long. People online began lining up past interviews side by side, catching the differences. The man who once seemed unshakable now looks uncertain. Videos of Cam and Mace explaining past situations continue to circulate, often directly opposing Jim's claims. When Mace publicly said Jim had been lying about him for years, it hit hard. To many fans, it confirmed what they already suspected. This wasn't exaggeration anymore, it was revision. Jim also struggles when talking about his place in today's scene. He often speaks as if he still has direct influence over younger Harlem artists, but the response doesn't match the claim. Respect is there, but endorsement isn't. Each time Jim tries to assert control or relevance, it opens the door for more criticism. People check the facts, and the gaps keep showing. At the center of it all is ego. For years, Jim has presented himself as the leader, the boss, the one calling the shots. That attitude shaped his career, but now it's working against him. Instead of letting his music and history speak, he keeps pushing himself into conversations that don't need his voice. His peers notice it. Fans notice it. And the more he insists on being the mastermind, the more the opposite seems true. Cameron and Mace don't attack him emotionally. They simply point out inconsistencies, often with humor. That makes it worse. Clips of Jim calling himself the capo of Harlem are now followed by laughter from the same people who helped build the movement. What once looked like confidence now comes off as insecurity. It feels like Jim Jones's biggest problem right now is his own voice. The same confidence that once helped build his image is now working against him. Every time he makes a strong claim or tries to reclaim respect, people look closer. Instead of fixing the damage, his words keep creating more of it. Fans can tell when someone is being genuine and when someone is chasing approval, and many believe Jim has crossed into the second category. This goes beyond image or popularity. Pride always comes with a price, and in Jim's case, that price is trust. For years, credibility kept him solid in the culture. Once that starts to fade, even a long career and classic moments can't protect you. Respect is fragile, and once people stop believing what you say, it's hard to get that belief back. Social media has made things worse for him. Nothing disappears online, and Jim's past interviews are always a few clicks away. Whenever he tells a story, fans immediately pull up older clips to compare. On platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, people replay his statements side by side, pointing out differences. Posts mocking his claims spread fast, and he's turned into a punchline more often than a voice of authority. It's not pure hate driving this reaction, it's disbelief. Even longtime supporters are starting to speak up. Comments calling him out get thousands of likes. People say he's been telling the same stories so long that he's lost track of what really happened. Others accuse him of trying to twist the culture into believing a version of events that only benefits him. The overall feeling is clear. Attention can't replace honesty, and no amount of interviews can restore trust once it's gone. What makes it more telling is how the younger Harlem artists respond. They acknowledge Jim's past and his role in an earlier era, but they don't repeat his words or follow his lead. Online, it's easy to see the gap. While Jim works hard to stay visible, the culture continues without him. Each meme, each comment, and each viral clip adds pressure, reminding everyone that influence can fade if it isn't backed by truth. The impact of this shift is serious. In hip-hop, respect is everything. When people stop taking you seriously and start laughing instead, that's a warning sign. Jim was once known as a voice of Harlem's reality. Now, many feel he's disconnected, stuck defending a version of himself that no longer lines up with what people remember or see. At the same time, Jim seems desperate to stay relevant. He often calls out newer artists, claims credit for shaping today's scene, and jumps into online arguments to grab attention. One example was when he criticized Pusha T, saying he lacked impact in New York. Fans immediately pushed back, pointing out moments where Pusha clearly proved himself at the highest level. Instead of strengthening Jim's position, the comment sparked another wave of jokes and criticism. This cycle keeps repeating. Jim finds a way to trend, but the attention only highlights how distant he is from the current wave. Artists like A Boogie, Fivio Foreign, and Dave East are moving forward without needing his approval. They respect history, but don't rely on it. Each time Jim tries to assert control or relevance, it becomes clear that the scene doesn't revolve around him anymore. Even with artists from his own generation, the pattern continues. Jim often talks about wanting competition, taking lyrical shots, and proving he's still at the top. But instead of coming across as confident, it feels forced. Fans see it as performance, not passion. Every bold statement opens the door for fact-checking, jokes, and doubt. What makes this situation frustrating is that Jim had another path available. He could have grown into a respected figure who guided younger artists and represented Harlem with wisdom. With his experience and history, he had the chance to be seen as a mentor and leader. That kind of role could have solidified his place without controversy. Instead, his need to control the narrative took over. He wanted to be seen as the boss, the mastermind, the center of every story. In doing so, he weakened the respect he had already earned. Trying to rewrite shared history only made people look closer at the facts. His peers noticed this too. Cameron and Mace regularly joke about Jim switching stories or overstating his role. The jokes land because they feel true. Fans share these moments widely, laughing but also recognizing the message behind them. What once felt like dominance now looks like insecurity. Younger artists see it clearly as well. They move with confidence, respect the past, and don't need to argue for relevance. Jim's attempts to chase viral moments only highlight what he's losing. At this point, the message is clear. Jim Jones hasn't lost his talent, but he's losing the respect that once defined him. Ego, mixed stories, and a constant need for validation have caught up. In hip-hop, you can rebuild success, but rebuilding trust is much harder. The streets remember everything, and until Jim accepts that, his legacy will remain under question.